Hey guys. Okay, hold up. Let me try to turn this around this way and get it set. I'm still a little brand newish with the whole with this whole thing, so I am gonna go slow and see what happens here. But I will wait and see if anything starts to appear. I haven't done a lot of these lives, so bear with me as I get myself technologically inclined with this. But yeah, I'll give it a few minutes. I know there's supposed to be like a couple minutes that it takes for everything to sync up. So I'm just gonna wait, see if anybody pops on. And either way, whether you do or not, then we're going to be here. And you guys could join me later, play this back, because I'm going to be doing a yoga set today. Gosh, I don't know where to start, because when I talk, I tend to jump around a whole lot. So I have a thing about public speaking, because I will just literally talk endlessly on and on about everything, you know, and let one subject tap into another one and tap into another one. And then I could be talking all day, and when I'm hanging out with friends, that's kind of how we tend to go. So yeah, I'm going to try to be a little more, you know, keep it together here, and keep it flowing. But yes, so I'm going to start talking, because, okay, so this is what's up. Today is November 8th. This is the day that Jupiter enters Sagittarius. So Jupiter takes 12 years to go all the way around the sun. And once every year, Jupiter enters a new zodiac sign. And so basically this whole past year, since last year, I guess around December time, end of November, beginning of December, Jupiter entered Scorpio. So whatever energies that you basically experienced for all of 2018 and the end of 2017, those energies were basically governed by, well, partly governed by Jupiter in Scorpio. And it makes a really big deal because Jupiter is the largest body in our whole entire solar system besides the sun. All of the other planets in the solar system are big enough to fit inside Jupiter. So when you think about just planetary influence, and for those who do understand astrology and understand, or even just understand from a scientific perspective, the power that the movements of the planets and the magnetism of the other planets, the power that has over our actual, our own magnetic fields, because we are magnetic beings, we're electromagnetic beings. And so just even scientifically, I've written papers about this before. I even wrote, you know, when I was in college, I wrote one of my best papers that I wrote to graduate on was a paper, a research paper, basically explaining astrology and in its, you know, breaking down the physics of astrology and proving that it's real and that it's valid and true. But yeah, so I've been studying all of this kind of thing for a long time. But so planetary influence, so that's our theme of today. So bring back our theme to kind of what I do. A lot of people who know me on Facebook don't know that I'm a yoga teacher. I've been a yoga teacher for like 10 years now. I've been certified for 10 years, I should say. I've been doing yoga for 30 years, maybe. Yeah, probably about 30 years. And yeah, I found, you know, I really understand the power that yoga brings. You know, a lot of people, yoga is just this about being stretchy, this whole stretch thing to them, and just about being loose and flexible. And everybody thinks yoga means like you can put your leg over the back of your head and stuff like that, and they don't have any association with what yoga actually, its actual function, and then how its function relates back to our actual lives. So yoga is so much more than just stretching your tendons and things like that. It's actually really, really powerful. Hey sis. Hey everybody, how are you? Yay, good to see you all. So yeah, yoga is like so much bigger than just, you know, stretching your hamstrings and things like that. And you know, sometimes I'm sad when I know, because I know how powerful yoga actually is, and people don't use it for what it's, for its real value. It has so much power and so much human value. It's not just about the physical body, but everything comes back down to the physical body too, because they're all intertwined. But the real power of yoga is about actually stretching out your entire being. So it's about stretching you out emotionally, stretching you past your natural capacity where you used to be at, and opening you up to a new ability to deal with situations in your life, to be able to have perspective on things, to see things. It has a whole spectrum. It's the same thing mentally. It stretches your mind. It opens up your ability to kind of philosophize about life, to understand, to put pieces together of things that are going on in your world. And so it's just so multidimensional. I can't go on enough about yoga and about how fantastic it is. But so I came out here today. I'm in this here. Let me just do a quick twirl for you. So I'm out here in Florida. So I forget that some of the world is cold right now. Some of y'all are still warm with me, but the world is cold in some places, and you guys are wearing like boots and sweaters and whatever. But this is this out here is one of my favorite places to come to. I live in Kissimmee in Florida, and as you can see by my clothes, I'm outside, and it's not scorching hot, but it's pretty hot today. It's definitely passed up the 80s somewhere, probably 82 or something like that today. So we're doing good. But yeah. I love it. I love to come out here, and this is like a perfect time of day. So I'm glad that I'm out here now. Is the kind of time when everybody's, the kids are still in school. This is a later time in Florida. A lot of people don't associate hanging out at the park all day, with, a lot of people are working. And anyway, but so I have this gorgeous, fantastic space right here, all around here to myself right now. So a lot of times I come out here, and this is one of my favorite spots in all of my whole town to come and do meditation, because the earth just feels really good right here. The earth feels good, the sun lasts long and everything. So anyway, while we got the power of Jupiter coming down, drawing down overhead, I am going to show you guys how to do some of the Wajjet yoga. So I'm going to do a quick thing here, because like I said, there's a lot of people who don't know that I do yoga, and I'm like a crap marketer. I'm not the type I don't share what I do with people from I'll be like, hey, you need to buy my product, you need to do my business. But what I do is actually a real gift. This yoga is really, really powerful. Wajjet yoga is a system of yoga I created. I studied yoga all over the world. I've been to India. I studied yoga in New York. This is my book that I wrote. And this is explaining the Wajjet yoga, because, obviously people would ask me, well, what's Wajjet yoga? What is that? I never heard of it. And so after a while, enough people asking me, I thought actually I should, even for myself, write it down and kind of make the explanation understood. So I was certified in Kundalini yoga, and I went to one of the the yoga trainings where they did the ladies and the men who wear all completely white, and they wear turbans and everything, and are very spiritual. And that for me, I'm a purist about things. I like to kind of go to the original source of things, and I loved it that they weren't just doing some hip hop stretch your hamstrings yoga. They were doing real yoga that's about it's a spiritual process, and that's what drew me to study under that particular thing. And when we were done with our teacher training, we were not even allowed to take our final vows as teachers if we planned to change any of the structure whatsoever of the yoga that we had been taught. And during the course of my training, I was taught, there were energies coming to me and beings speaking with me. And so I'm a priestess. Okay, so I'm jumping around again. But I'm a priestess in ancient Egyptian, Kemetic, and spirituality, in the religion. And so that is how the divine speaks the loudest to me. I can hear the divine through all the, I speak multi-languages of religion and spirituality. I can speak to other people through their systems too, and we're really essentially saying the same thing, except for hate and judgment. I don't really speak that language. I try to, avoid people, or sometimes I'll feed people back their same energy when they come at me with their religious judgment or, religious weirdness. And I'll just get, a little sketchy too. You know, 'cause I have an ego too. But and I don't like being limited by anybody. But anyway, so Kemetic, the ancient Egyptian system, is the way the divine flows through me the strongest, and the language that it's my first language, and that's what was speaking to me as I was learning all of this spiritual system. So I was wondering, what is serpent power? Because I'm learning Kundalini, which is, you know, the Hindu system of serpent power. So I'm wondering, you know, what is serpent power in Africa? What is the, you know, religious connection to serpent power? Because actually the most ancient cult of the serpent in the world is a 72,000-year-old cult found in Botswana. And you know, they've traced the migration patterns of these people from Botswana and found the serpent power cult move towards East Africa and then travel up the Nile and everything. So this is like the very, very, very most ancient cult. The most ancient spiritual system known in the entire world is actually a serpent power cult. So I love the fact that using this, we're tapping back into something that's incredibly ancient. And then also at that point when our humanity was like undiluted, like how children are, you know, like raw and real and complete and whole, and not worrying about how they look or anything like that. At that time in our humanity, at that childhood time in our humanity, we were totally connected to that serpent power energy. And so I wanted to study it and find out, what does it mean. And so this is my life's work. So the yoga, which started out as kind of just this, you know, teacher training basic, turned into a real journey for me. So Wajit Yoga is my journey, and it's my gift. This is the gift that I have. That is it's a really powerful system, and it has completely transformed my life, completely. And I go through times where I see, you know, just life catches up with us and things like that, and we can't always do whatever, you know, we can't always do what we know is the best thing for us. Some, you know, worldly limitations or mental limitations that we place on ourselves or things like that. But we, by tapping into the yoga, sometimes I would get away from my practice and, you know, slip up a little bit, and I would notice the change that it had when I was slipping up. And then at other times I would notice that when I got really deeply into my practice, and even more so when I was teaching, the energy of the transformation, of everybody's transformation experience, all of that energy taps into me. And sometimes it would be so powerful. I would go through such a deep and just crazily deep transformative experience that it would just blow my mind. It was almost overwhelming, almost too much to deal with. So then I would like back away again and shy away from teaching. And so it's been an up and down journey for me. So I've been teaching over a lot of years and just gone back and forth with it. But it's my time, you know. This is my time to make sure that the people who need this, that they receive this. So I'm going to be really, over the next year, I'm going to be going hard with this. And from the transformation that I've seen that the yoga has done for me. So the time that we're entering right now with Jupiter going into Sagittarius is a perfect time of alignment with Sagittarius going there, and then with Wajit. So the serpent power energy. So Wajit, this here. Okay, so let me show you a quick picture. So, okay, this serpent here that you see, this is seen on the, it's called, in Greek, it's called the Uraeus, and this is the snake that the African kings in ancient Egypt that they had coming off there. So if you've ever seen the king with the snake coming off the crown, that snake is Wajit. And that means that his serpent power, that he has done the transformation process to bring the serpent power down, open it up at the base of the spine, draw it up through his back, bring it up here, and bring it out here. So that's a whole entire process. That's what the Hindus would call the Kundalini rising. So you rise it up to your crown chakra, and when it rises up to the crown chakra and it becomes so full there that it's like it bursts open this new sense of enlightenment inside you. And when you've reached that stage of enlightenment, it's symbolized by the snake actually exiting your pineal gland here and coming out into the world in front of you. So that's basically the simple essential of what Wajit Yoga is. So I'm going to do a really short set. So if anybody wants to join me, like I said, this is live, but if anybody wants to tune in later and see this, then they're able to do that too. I'm going to do a set. It's about opening up spinal energy, and the spinal energy, once the spinal energy reaches your crown, so at that point, so this is a moving yoga system. So it's not about stretching or holding postures. The entire thing is about movement, because the movement builds up electrical energy. It's like a generator. So, if you have a dam with water running down it, the dam is moving around and around because the water is pushing it, and then the movement of it is what creates the electrical charge. So this moving system of yoga, the serpent power, is actually an electrical charge. The serpent, the movement of the serpent, is energy waves, and what we're doing here is building up energy waves like a generator. And then once the energy is built up, what we do next is we do a meditation. So we've created this whole electrical sphere around us. We've like electrically charged our energy field, our aura. And once the energy field is charged, we use our intention to do a meditation, and then the meditation is like this magnetic force. So we've raised the electricity, and then the next step is to take the intention and put it into a meditation, which creates a magnetism. So we draw to us, so we use the force of electricity and of magnetism to draw to us what it is, the transformative experience that we're trying to get in our lives. So that is basically the essentials of how Wadjet Yoga works. And I guarantee you it works, because I have been through up, down, left, right, and all kinds of things in life. And when I am at my peak of power in a certain phase or cycle, the Wadjet Yoga just like bursts that open and makes me incredibly powerful. And when I am at the bottom of a power cycle, where I'm weak and tired and ill, or a dis-ease is coming through me or anything like that, the power of Wadjet Yoga brings me back up and helps me push through that cycle. It helps me keep my mind steady. It helps me keep myself emotionally steady, and it helps me keep that strength going, and also helps energy move through my body and transform through my body, so that it pushes me into a state where I'm actually healing without having to use external forces. Obviously, with the things we use outside of us, like our diet, using herbs, different things, everything that nature has provided for us is also helpful to the healing process. But without even using anything at all, when we tap into these powers of yoga, we're actually able to get something out of it, that without having to purchase products, without having to look to others, without having to find anything from outside of ourselves, we can literally tap into our own power that we have within us and create healing for ourselves. So it's a pretty amazing thing, pretty powerful. So here we go. So I'm going to slide this out a little bit, because you guys are going to need to see me on the mat. And like I said, this is, I'm just I didn't get a whole setup for how things are going to look out here. So I will try to do my best. I hope all of me fits in the camera, so you guys, for anybody who wants to join in, that you can. But as I said, so what we're doing here is opening up the serpent power. Now, let me explain one more thing, because I just love to talk endlessly, and I will probably keep it, like I said, I'll keep on talking and talking if somebody doesn't make me be quiet. Oh my gosh, okay, quick, I just have to just give you guys this view one more time. This is so stunning. See that? And sorry, I'm totally aware that I just randomly interrupted myself and went off course, but I don't know, sometimes when it's beautiful, you just have to share it. But yeah, it is really beautiful out here. All the times that I've lived here, because I came down here from New Jersey, and I never take it for granted that in a time of year when it's usually cold, that I'm just outside in nature with the sun and the light. And so I just accidentally looked up and caught the beautiful view while I was trying to tell you guys something. And so I just had to, just embrace that and hold that again for a second. But anyhow, so back to, the yoga and Jupiter. So one more point I wanted to make about Wadjet, to give us some context before we get started with this posture, is that the movement of energy, so the cycle of the serpent power through the body, is also reflected. So everything in African cosmology, everything in African religion is always mirrored in the cosmos. It's always mirrored on the planet. It's always mirrored somewhere in nature. So it's either mirrored in the cosmos, it's mirrored around us in nature directly, or it's mirrored around us by our individual dynamic with the other people around us. And they're always on all those levels at the same time. They're always taking place and working on all those aspects at the same time. So the movement of serpent power, so let me just turn to the side here. So again, so the serpent power starts in the base of the spine at the little tailbone there, and it moves up the spine, goes up, and it's waves. It's a serpent, so serpent energy. It moves like the waves of energy move. It goes up, and there are certain points there that are called gates. And if anybody's familiar with the Kemetic Book of Gates, the gates are actually representing these specific points where the energy stops, where the energy has the energy goes through a particular transformation, which creates a new aspect inside the body. So in the cosmos, this is reflected so that on December 21st every year, the point of the serpent power in the earth opens up. So basically the sun is down at the bottom, what would be the bottom of the earth, and then it rises up again above the earth. It goes up until the sun reaches its highest point in the peak of the sky on June 21st. So that's the summer solstice, and that's the longest day of the year. And then it goes back down the front of the earth until it tucks down under the earth again and can barely be seen in the coldest months. So the same thing with our serpent power energy. It goes up through the spine, up over the top. It reaches the summer here, and then it goes slowly down the front. So as it's coming up here, it comes up towards the kidneys, and that's where the first gate is. And this is the same time, this mirrors the same time of year when the earth is going through spring. So it goes through springtime. Springtime is represented by green, by newness, by sexual energy, and the kidneys are also represented by the color green, and they are also healed by the color green, and the kidneys are the place for our sexual power, our sexual strength, and the energy that helps to renew and strengthen the rest of the body. All is in the kidneys. The kidneys have way, way, way more function than just eliminating urine from the body. They're in they're in every single process in the body, every hormonal process, the structure of remaking bones, emotional energy. All of these things are all based in the kidneys. So this is our springtime right here. So the energy we draw up, the energy to this area of springtime, we come up here, and then this is where summertime is. So this is where like the fruits are, the abundant fruits of summer, where everything is kind of open and wide and everything is red out there, and we're able to make use of it. And then so after summer, then we come down to fall, and fall is the harvest season, represented as a lot of orange and things like that, these kind of colors, and this is represented by this area here. Fall is about the harvest and storing the harvest, and then in the same way, so we have our organs here. All of these are how we digest. So our digestion is about storing, so we move the food through here, and we have 28 feet of intestines, so this is a whole storage unit here where things are stored before they move down and pass through. And so the same thing energetically. So the energy rises up to the kidneys, springtime, then we get up here, summertime, and then we move down here to the fall. So we've just passed September 21st recently, and then so this would be September 21st would be around here, this area here, and then December 21st is down here where the light, the sun, the Wajet energy re-enters the tailbone, the base of the spine there. So when the energy first moves out from the tailbone, so December 21st, the energy is there, and that's the energy opening, and the energy first emerges and is seen, the light of the sun is first seen on December 25th. So the original holiday of December 25th was actually the light of the world returning, which was actually Wajet, which was actually the serpent power. And so all of these, there are holidays that are distorted, that are not based on African cosmology, and that are based on overlays of other people's, spiritual systems, overlaid on top of what was already there, because the holidays that were there in the first place were all based on our relationship with nature, our relationship with the divine, and how that moves. And the holy days were about keeping us in flow with the cosmic process. The point of a holy day is to take you and reconnect you, as though you shouldn't be separated in the first place. But a holy day is a checkpoint to reconnect you with that cosmic energy, reconnect you with that earth energy, and reconnect you to the things around you that are real. So let's see. Hey, peace, peace, peace. Sorry, I'm all late looking at the words here, looking at the comments. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Okay, so that's where we are. So this time of year right here, because we've passed September 21st, which is our harvest point here, and we're moving down towards December 21st, which is the sealing up. That's the sealing up of the energy for the year, for the solar year, and we are about right in between that, which means that we're right here. So specifically energetically now, because all of this energy flow happens whether we're conscious of it or not. This is something that moves and takes place no matter what we do. But when we are conscious of the energy, we can direct the flow, and we can expand the flow, and we can make use of the energy and put the energy and transform it and transmute it and direct it into areas of our lives that we want to expand in. So the energy is flowing. So right now the energy is flowing. So it's right about here. So we're in our November. And then it's interesting that we come around right here, so the Kundalini energy, the Wajet energy, is seated right around here around this time. And then what is it that they call this time of year? They call this time of year like cuffing season and things. So right around the time that the natural flow of serpent power energy in our bodies is right around the sexual organs, that's the same time of year that they're calling cuffing season. And obviously, they're calling this because they say, it's cold and stuff like that. But, it's cold in January too, and it's cold in February in a lot of places, and those aren't called cuffing season. So specifically, we are in flow. This is a natural flow that's taking place inside of us. And a lot of people are not aware of these kind of what this energy is, where it's coming from, what it means. They just kind of move through life and just call things whatever and don't have any clue about why anything is how it is. And it's important for us to start to know, to be aware of what these things are. So, so here we go. Here's to cuffing season for everybody who's understanding and aware of where their energies lie right now. And I am going to stop talking finally and go ahead and get on with this yoga set. So whoever would like to join me, just jump on in. So we're just going to sit down into a comfortable position. So you just want to sit down so that your legs are crossed, or sit in lotus position, or sit however is comfortable for you. And we're just going to do what's called a fire breath. And that's just a little warming up process for us. The fire breath draws the energy. It's a way to oxygenate the blood, and it also helps to alkalize the blood, because what it does is make the exchange of carbon dioxide out of the body more quick. It moves it out of the blood, moves it up to the lungs, and then the lungs exhale the carbon dioxide, which is what's responsible for the acidity of the blood, and replaces that with oxygen. And then oxygen obviously is, for our whole metabolic process, requires oxygen. And then the breakdown of things that shouldn't be in us, bacteria, viruses, parasites, and different things like that are also damaged by oxygen. So just this one routine that I'm going to show you right now, this one movement, is actually something. If you were to do this for 3 minutes a day, if you wake up in the morning and you do 3 minutes of this, you'll actually notice a huge shift in your health. Just this alone, I've seen people who wanted to stop smoking and were able to stop smoking, and smoking whatever substances they were smoking. I've seen people who wanted to make adjustments in their diet and kind of had been struggling with that, and all of a sudden something takes place in the body, some sort of shift takes place that they can't quite name. But bless, peace. And when this shift takes place, they suddenly find themselves a little more able to do the things, to tap into the things that they want to with their body. So this is what we're going to do. So right here, okay, the Wajet breath, it's called a fire breath in some systems. So what you do, you're pulling the navel. So you inhale, so you exhale sharply, so that your navel goes back like you're trying to hit your spine with your navel. So it's a really sharp breath. And you should be able to hear yourself nice and loud as you do it. So you do this, so you exhale sharply. And then the inhale, instead of inhaling, so you're not actively trying to inhale. So you exhale sharply, and then you allow your lungs to fill back up with the energy, with the oxygen, with the air. So, because what we don't want to do, especially with breathing, we never want to try to do this, because as I was just sharing this with someone the other day, this upper portion of the body here, there are receptors inside the lungs the whole way down, and the receptors in the higher part of the lungs are receptors that let us know when we're in a place of panic and fear and stress, and that we need to hurry up and do what we've got to do. And the lower receptors in the lungs are receptors that send out hormonal and neural messages telling us that we're relaxed, we're in a place of peace, that it's safe, that we can sit, and that we can be still. And so if we don't breathe fully down into the lungs, the message that we are sending our bodies all the time without even realizing it is, I'm in a place of stress, I'm in a place of fear, I need to hurry. So when we only breathe into this part of us, and when we try to breathe deeply and do this, it's still activating these upper centers here. Whereas when we breathe through the belly, when you do belly breathing, so when you relax the upper portion of your body and you just allow your diaphragm to be what draws the breath in and out for you, the breath goes all the way down into here. And then even just by your breathing, you can reset your entire physiology to tell your body. Because it takes, especially when we've been breathing up here for so long, if you're 20 and you've been breathing up here since you started school, because that was a stressful experience for you, then you could have spent maybe 15 years sending the message to your body that I'm stressed, I'm in a hurry, everything's bad. And so it's going to take time before you have to breathe properly for some time. You'll notice effects right away, but the effects to completely remove that constant message, we're stressed, it's dangerous, hurry, and to remove that message and to get the message down here that we're safe, everything is okay, we're going to be fine, we're good, everything is well. It's going to take time of breathing. So this is something that has to be practiced every day on a regular basis, because we actually give messages to our physiology, and our cells remember everything that we tell them. So whatever we've been telling our cells over all the years, our cells are feeding that same story back to us by how we feel when we're anxious and stressed, and how we react and respond to life. All of that is coming by, all of those things are coming by us not being aware just of something as simple as the breath. So again, back to the Wajet breathing. So we want to breathe here, exhale, and then you're just going to let the air inhale. Now this is a really quick breath, really powerful quick breath. So we're going to do this for about a minute, and then so that's just going to get us into a flow and kind of cleanse us. And it also gives energy to the aura, the movement gives energy to the aura, it cleans it out. So we're just going to give a quick body clean, and it helps to clear the mind also. Okay, you can put the hands, first finger together, first two fingers together, or just relax your hands down, palms up or down, whichever is comfortable. Depends on my moment. Sometimes I prefer to do like this. So we're just going to stretch. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and begin the Wajet breath. It's through the nose. And for this, I like to keep the eyes closed. And the eyes are definitely the window to the soul, because when you have your eyes open, energy is always leaking out. Energy actually leaks out of you through your eyes. So when you keep your eyes closed, you seal other people's energy from coming inside of you through that particular channel, and you also seal as one place where energy can leak out of you. And then take a deep breath in. And when you take a deep breath in, you can expand your lungs so that everything opens up, but you just remember to open from the bottom first. and then allow, if there's space at the top still, for the top of your lungs to expand. You don't want to pull this like this and then just stretch it and give your body that same signal that everything is stress state from the bottom. And then exhale slowly. And while we're doing this, just make sure that your spine is nice and straight. Yes, definitely. Air is so powerful. All of the elements have their incredibly important place, most definitely. All of the elements play off of each other, and they all have a relationship to each other that is really, really important and really powerful. And so, yeah, air is so fundamental. Air is literally, that is the first thing. As soon as we don't bring air into our physical bodies, boom, it's a wrap. Life is over. Everything else, all the other elements, we can stop eating, we can skip the earth energy for a while, we can go for a few days without water, but the air element, got to get that in there. So because it's so fundamental, we have to know that whenever we need to go back to basics and go back to when our life is out of alignment, the most important thing to do is go back to the basics. And another word for basic is elemental. And the reason we go back to the elements, we go back down to the basic components of life. Air is one of our most basic components of life. So whatever is connected to air, breathing, the drumming of the heartbeat, percussion, all the things that are the basic elements of air, we embrace all of the elements of air and use those in order to realign ourselves. And then go from there, then we can go and take steps up, and then go back to other places. But okay, so I don't want to go too far. I will, again, like I said, I'll start talking again. And I'm just going to keep talking and keep working like these mosquitoes aren't out here trying to tear me up. I'm going to try to breathe them all the way. So lucky people out there who are getting snow right now and all that stuff, because at least you guys don't deal with mosquitoes. But, you know, I'll take my, sleeveless any day. But okay, so what we're going to do next step. So we've just breathed ourselves back into kind of our own personal expansion into our space, just to center ourselves. And we're going to go ahead and start with the spinal energy raising. And so this is a simple set that I'm going to show you. You can come back to this video as often as you like. I don't even know if Facebook Live videos stay up there or how long they stay up there. I'll try to download it and put it on my YouTube channel so that it's there to access for whenever people want. I'm still working on how to do all that stuff too. I'm an old lady, old school, so I'm not down with all the technology. But okay, so here we go forward. So the spinal energy, the first thing we're going to do, and I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what we're doing here, and then I'm going to turn back to the front. So we're arching this part of the back, the spine, forward. So we want to take our hands, hold on to the shins in front of us, and we want to just pull the spine here. But we don't want to tilt the head up as we go, so we want to keep the neck straight. And we're going to arch the back forward, and then arch it back. So we're pulling it forward, arching it back, forward. And as we pull it forward, we inhale so that our lungs get the most expansion. And as we arch back, that's when we exhale, so that the compression that we're going through can also press out that air at the same time. So we're going to do that also for about a minute. Okay, so this is how we start the cycle. First step is that fire breath. Second step, so the fire breath activates Wajet. That lets her know that we're here, that we are calling her to us, and that we are ready to bring the energy and the power that she has on offer for us. Second step, open up the base of the spine. And then come to the center, take a deep breath and hold it. And exhale. Yes, I tried being a breatharian for a while. I got as far as the raw food and nearly got to the sun gazing, and I didn't go that far because life pulled me back in with some things I was doing. But that's a good goal. All right, so right away we're going to get up onto the knees. So let me turn to the side just so you can see where we're at. So we're sitting on the feet here, like this. If it's not comfortable, if you have to, you can always curl your feet under like this and just kind of come up on your toes if you need to, or you can tuck a pillow under there or something like that. You know, everybody's at different levels of flexibility. And that doesn't mean that you should lose out on any of the practice. So if you're able to get into the posture without, if it's uncomfortable, slight uncomfortable, and you feel like you can hold through it, then that's the best. But if not, and if it's definitely causing any kind of pain or anything like that, then you want to just find a way to make yourself comfortable, because we're still just focusing on the spine. This is just our foundation that we're holding here, but what we're actually working on is the spine. So we're going to come up here, hands on the knees, and we're going to do the same thing again. Inhaling forward, exhaling back, and same arching of the spine like we just did. And as you do this, you may notice a little difference in the spine, in the place in your spine where the energy is being activated as you do this posture compared to the posture that we just did. Nice strong breath. And take a deep breath, hold, and exhale. And again, all right, so we're going to swing back down again, back to a cross legs position. If you need to give your legs a little rub or a little shake or anything like that, just to keep that energy flowing there, go ahead and do that. And I promise you, after you've been doing a practice like this for a while, then you will not even notice that. Because a lot of people say about the pins and needles is your body cutting off your circulation. And a lot of people believe that, and I also believed that until I went into yoga school. And it is not actually anything to do with your blood circulation being cut off. It's actually specifically to do with the nerves that are being squeezed, and the nerves are sending messages. So they're trying to send mixed messages because they're being compressed. They're sending mixed messages at the same time. So that's what gives you that pins and needles sensation. So it's not your circulation getting cut off. You're not going to get gangrene, or have to have your legs amputated just because you had them tucked under you. It's just nerves, and once your nerves get used to being in those postures and those positions, and your muscles and your tendons and everything, then that stops. So you stop getting the pins and needles sensation after some practice. But okay, so forward to the next thing. So the next thing we're going to do here is actually put the arms up on the shoulders. So you want to take the thumbs and put the thumbs at the back of your shoulders here, and you want the four fingers in the front here. And we're going to twist the spine. So you want to keep the head facing straight forward. If it's comfortable, like if you're bald, have no hair, if your hair is very short, for me, I will give myself whiplash and end up with marks on my face because my hair is so long. So if you're not able to move your head completely, then the best thing to do is keep your head straight forward, and you want to twist the spine. So this is what we're doing here. So this is twisting the upper spine. So you're going to inhale as you go to the left, and exhale as you go to the right. Okay, so go ahead and begin. And you want to do a nice quick motion. One of the things that I notice most often with my students is that they'll do this and they'll do a kind of like slow, slow, slow. And if you do this posture slowly, it does literally nothing for you. You're just holding your arms up in the air for nothing. So this is supposed to be like a whiplash. You should be able to whip yourself around so that if you were swinging your hair, if I was doing this, as you can see, so my hair will be whipping around as I do this. You want to use your shoulders and your arms to whip your spine side to side, because this is creating a stretch in the spine and opening up the spine for the spinal energy, for the Wajet energy to rise up your spine. And then come back to center, take a deep breath in. And exhale, just lower your arms gently, slowly. And just make sure that your spine is nice and straight, that your body isn't hunched forward while you're doing this. And you may start to feel, by this point, you may start to notice a difference in your spine and in the energy that's moving up and down your spine. Hey, oh, peace, peace, peace. I haven't seen you in a minute, brother. Good to see you here. Thank you. Cool. All right, so the next thing is now, so we've risen the energy about partway up the spine. So we've gone past spring and we're moving into the summer section of raising this energy up the body here. All right, so next thing we want to do, we want to clasp the hands. So we have the left palm facing forward, right palm facing us, and we clasp here, and we're going to rest the hands right in front of the heart, right in front of this area here, and we're going to twist the arms up and down. So we're going to pull like we're trying to pull our hands apart this way. We're going to pull, and at the same time as we pull, we're moving up and down, side to side. So we're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, inhale as the left arm goes up, exhale as the right arm goes up. Deep breath in, pull, and exhale again. Rest the hands on the knees. And again, just make sure every time that you're just coming back so that your spine is really nice and tall and straight. And I want to just mention a quick word about, just because of specifically the point that we're at in the rising right now, the posture that we just did is opening up the gates at the beginning of the base of the neck. So in the base of the neck, so from the top of the lumbar, which is the top of the spine there, and then where the short bones go up into the neck, there are 7 short bones that go from the neck bone down to where it meets the actual spinal bones. And these 7 bones, this is the column of Asar. So if you've ever seen this pillar of Asar, Osiris, which the Greeks called, this space specifically is an initiation process. So if you ever see when they go into, and you have to go through like a 33 degrees of initiation, there are 33 bones in your spine. And so the serpent power rising up to the 33rd degree means that you have risen your Wajet energy from your tailbone all the way to the top bone that meets your skull. And it's a critical point in your, good, I'm glad you're all enjoying this. Thank you. So there's a critical point when in the rising of the 33 degrees of energy, where you meet those 7 bones and those 7 final bones, because those are the bones, that's the ones that decides your ability to go here. So remember, all of our bones in our spine can't twist and turn. They can do other movements, but there are certain ones that they can't do. But these bones can turn. These are the bones responsible for turning you all the way. So there's a specific energy that goes with that too. So the posture we just did has to do partly with opening the heart center, and then also with expanding that gate. It's opening that gate so that you can enter the final doorway going up to the rising, to the crowning. Okay, all right, so next, now that we've opened that, so the next thing we do is this. We just turn the head side to side. So we're going to inhale to the left, exhale to the right. And back to center. Deep breath in and hold. And exhale. All right. Next, and then right away, we're going to pull the energy and seal that gate, because now we've entered that gate into the last seven, the portal of 7, and then we need to seal the gate behind us. So we're going to pinch that gate closed by doing this. So inhale sharply as you come up, and then as you exhale, just drop the shoulders down. And squeeze, and exhale slowly. And again, just draw the center back. Make sure the spine and the neck are nice and straight. And just take a few slow, deep breaths. And you might start to feel now that there's a lot of energy moving around inside your head. You might either feel extremely clear, almost too clear around here and around the head, or feel kind of like a buzzing, but you might feel some sort of really specific sensation. For me, it's like an astronaut suit helmet. It just sits around here like this with this kind of still but somehow really buzzing energy, and it stays with me in this kind of like a located really specific in this space here once that movement happens. And so now that's how we know that we're moving here. We're moving up to this transformation energy moving up the crown. So, okay. And so just tilt the neck forward a little bit. And tilt back. All right. And then this final one here. So we're going to get, again, front palm, left palm facing forward, right palm facing us, clasping the hands here. And this time we're not trying as hard to pull them as though we're pulling them apart. But what we're doing, we're starting from the throat here, from the throat center, and we're just pulling up. Inhale as you go up. This is almost like a swiping action in the energy field. So the risen energy that's up in the crown, that's buzzing, it's like we're swiping the last of the energy upward and up into the crown chakra. And just want to suck the breath in as you go up, and then just let the breath kind of fall out as you come down. All right, hands back at the throat. Deep breath in, and then exhale and let go. And at this point, you may, if you have the sensitivity to feel it just yet, you'll really feel that there's a whole section of energy that is just radiating off here, that's just pulling upwards. It's almost like a, I don't know, like a wave of energy that just rises up from the top of the head, and it's just kind of, you can feel the movement of it here. So the last thing, the last part of this set that we're going to do, we're going to again come back up onto the knees here. And so we're going to take the entire movement that we've just created. So at this point, we've risen the Kundalini, the Wajet energy, all the way up the spine, and we've risen it out through the crown, through all the movements that we've done. So we want to take the hands, and we want to cross them, and then raise the finger here. And we want to raise the hands up over the head. So again, we're sitting on our legs like this, as long as that's comfortable. And again, if not, if it's not comfortable, you can come up here onto your feet, whatever is the most comfortable for you. And so we're going to come up here, and we're doing a, let's see. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we're doing. So that's the physical process of what we're doing. So we're bringing our arms up here. And we're going to do, again, the same movement that we did for the Wajet breath, where we pull the energy in, pull the stomach in, the navel, toward the spine. We're going to be doing that. So we want roll the shoulders back and relax them so that your shoulders are sitting down. We don't want to pull and squeeze like this. We want the shoulders and the neck to be relaxed. Shoulders relax down, so just kind of roll it until you feel it in a position where it's more comfortable. And the arms next to your ears at the side here, fingers, index finger pointing up. And again, fire breath. And for this one, you want to have the eyes closed, and you want to be focusing your inner vision right at the third eye point here, right at this point in between the brows. And then take a deep breath in, and then pull the navel back toward the spine. And at the same time, you want to also, the perineum, which is the point all the way down underneath, the point right at the root chakra, you want to pull that up into the body at the same time as you're pulling the navel toward the spine. So this is called a root lock, when you pull these two together at the same time. So you want the breath to stay held in. You're keeping the breath in and just pulling that root lock. So pull up, the perineum up, navel in. And when you can't hold your breath anymore, exhale. And while the breath is exhaled completely, do not inhale again. You want to pull again the perineum up, and pull the navel in. Oh, and you can't inhale anymore, can't hold it anymore. Inhale. And then just lower your arms slowly to your sides, and you want to just bring your palms so that they're touching the floor next to you, touching the ground. And just give yourself a little grounding. Just again, keep the spine nice and straight. And then again, for the last thing we do here, because whenever we do any energies, any kind of energy that we're doing, we're moving a lot of electromagnetic energy. So what we want to do is lay down. So here we go. I'm going to lay down with you guys. We're going to lay down and we're going to seal the energy down here. So we just want to lay down. So you want the arms flat on the floor. Feet should be open. And you want to just do that. Okay? So we're just going to lay there and we're going to relax for just a minute. Just take a moment to just allow all of the energies that you've moved and transformed in your body to kind of adjust and realign and to kind of fall back into the natural flow of where those energies belong. So you never want to do yoga and just jump up and run away, because there's a lot of spiritual energy being moved, a lot of energy being transformed. Old negative energy is being cast off, is being thrown out of your energy field and released back into the ground and into the atmosphere, which is much better if we release this into the ground, because the ground can actually transmute the energy for you, whereas the atmosphere will just hold the energy and just dump it on someone else. So, but we want to get down. That's the other reason that we do this particular posture, because we're giving ourselves to the whole ground so that all of this energy can flow out of us down into the ground and just be transmuted down where it belongs. Just relax. Just let yourself breathe naturally. If you do need a drink of water, the Wajet movement, Wajet is a fire element, so she definitely will bring up a lot of heat and a lot of fire, so you may need to balance that out by drinking some water. So definitely feel free to take a sip before you lay down. And then just lay back, relax for a moment. Even though that was a very short set that we did, because a lot of times in my classes, when I have actual yoga classes, we'll do these classes for 60 minutes or 90 minutes. And so there's a lot of transformation energy going on there when we do these things. But even though we did a short set, there's a lot of energy that moves and a lot of things that are being transformed. So don't underestimate it. And I won't stay laying here forever because whoever watching the video probably doesn't want to watch me just lay around. So you guys can continue to lay there and just listen to me, or whatever. So I'm gonna come back up and just continue talking to you guys for a few minutes, and just kind of close out well, if anybody has anything that they wanted to share, anything to mention, any other questions or comments that you had, or even just some feedback about what you thought of the yoga or what you think of Wajet yoga, or if you'd like to know more about it or anything like that, then you guys can, of course, once you get up from out of your posture that you're supposed to be holding for a couple minutes there, definitely let me know what you think. But yeah, I've been, as I said, I've been doing this yoga for probably a little over a decade, probably about 12 years now. And this particular set, if you do a short set like this, I would say that you could do it twice a day. This is something you could do if you do altar work. This is something that you can do before you do your altar work, because it will open up your energies so that the connection to the ancestral energy, or the whatever metaphysical energy that you tap into, that the transmission is more clear, that it comes through clearly. If you do a longer set, so if you're doing this, so you would want to run it by a timer when you're doing it by yourself. So you want to set your timer for a minute for a short set, and then you're going to set your timer for 3 minutes for a long set. And the only thing that you don't do for 3 minutes, so when you're doing the head turn side to side, and when you're doing this one here, you want to do those just for no longer than a minute. But if you do like a 3 minutes per posture, I would just recommend doing that once a day, especially in the beginning, because you want to do it and try to see how your energy transforms and how you feel, and what kind of effects that it has on you, so that you don't get, too many effects going on too quickly. So, but yeah, this is definitely something that could be done a couple times a day if you do it like that in the morning, when you get up, and then again before bed. It will definitely make real serious transformations in your life. That's one thing that I can promise about Wajjet Yoga. It will definitely make some major transformations for you, and you'll notice it in all areas, just internally and then externally in your dynamic with other people or with other systems that you have to interact with and things like that. Definitely. So yeah, that is, I feel so good and loose and stretchy now. Okay, well, that's that. And if there isn't anything else, before I jump in and start talking about Jupiter for a whole nother hour or anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and close it out now. So I will definitely be, y'all will catch me on, on Facebook. I'll see you there, and inbox me if you guys have any other questions that you wanted to ask. And I super appreciate you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much thanks for showing up. Thanks for participating in this with me. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Anku Jasaneb. I don't say namaste in my yoga tradition because obviously it's African based, it's Kemetic based. So Anku Jasaneb. Thank you.